It was just another night, until the police lights came on. Marcus wasn't running. He wasn't resisting. But the moment those lights flashed, they decided he was guilty. The officer reached for Marcus's wrists. Cold metal clicked shut. Handcuffs. Marcus didn't shout. He didn't fight. He stood still, confused, trying to understand how a walk home turned into this moment. The street felt smaller now. Red and blue lights painted his face while neighbors watched from the shadows. Some whispered. Some recorded. Marcus asked one question. "What did I do?" No clear answer came back. They said his description matched. They said a crime happened nearby. That was enough. The cuffs tightened as he was turned toward the patrol car. In that moment, fear replaced confusion. He thought about his mother. His job. Tomorrow morning. All of it felt far away now. A police door opened. Marcus took one last look at the street he grew up on. This wasn't justice. This was an assumption. And the night swallowed him as the car door shut. The crime scene wasn't clear. It was messy. Confusing. Rushed. Police tape blocked the street, but answers were missing. Officers moved fast, faster than the facts. A broken bottle lay on the sidewalk. A knocked-over trash can. Someone had been hurt. And everyone wanted a reason. Witnesses talked at the same time. Voices overlapped. One person said, "I think it was him." Another said, "He ran that way." No one was sure. But uncertainty didn't slow the investigation. It sped it up. They repeated one detail again and again. Young. Black. Hoodie. That description traveled faster than the truth. By the time Marcus was stopped, the story had already been written. A story built on assumptions. Not evidence. No fingerprints had been checked. No camera footage reviewed. Just guesses. Marcus wasn't near the fight. He didn't know the victim. But facts don't matter when fear takes over. The crowd wanted closure. The officers wanted speed. And in the middle of it all, an innocent man became the answer. This wasn't an investigation. It was a misinterpretation. Before the sirens. Before the handcuffs. Marcus was just a young man trying to build a future. He was 23. Old enough to understand responsibility. Young enough to still believe in dreams. Every morning Marcus woke up early. Not because he had to, but because he wanted more out of life. He worked a steady job. Nothing glamorous. Long hours, tired feet, honest pay. He never complained. That paycheck wasn't just money. It helped keep the lights on. It helped his family breathe a little easier. Marcus lived with his mother and younger sister. His father wasn't around much. So Marcus became the man of the house without ever being asked. He walked his sister to school. Helped with homework at night. Told her she could be anything she wanted. "Don't let anyone tell you who you are," he'd say. Marcus had dreams of his own too. He wanted to go back to school. Learn a trade. Maybe start a small business one day. Not to be rich. Just to be free. On weekends he stayed out of trouble. Basketball at the park. Music in his headphones. Quiet walks through his neighborhood. People knew him. The grocery store clerk. The bus driver. Neighbors who watched him grow up. Marcus was respectful. Reliable. Present. He believed if you did the right thing, life would eventually do right by you. That night, when the police lights flashed behind him, he didn't panic. Because a man who has nothing to hide doesn't expect his life to be torn apart. Marcus didn't know his past. His character, his dreams, would mean nothing in the face of an accusation. In seconds, everything he worked for was placed on. News traveled fast through the neighborhood. By morning, everyone knew Marcus's name. Some were angry. Some were scared. But most were confused. People who knew Marcus couldn't understand it. "That's not him," they said. Mothers whispered on front steps. Fathers shook their heads in silence. Phones came out. A short clip from the arrest spread online. No context. No explanation. Just a young black man in handcuffs. Outside the courthouse, people gathered. Signs went up. Voices rose. Show the evidence. Tell the truth. This wasn't about one arrest anymore. It was about a pattern people had seen before. The community didn't ask for special treatment. They asked for fairness. For facts. For cameras to be checked before lives were destroyed. Candles were lit that night. Not for anger, but for hope. Hope that the truth would come out. Hope that Marcus would be seen, not as a suspect, but as a human being. For days, the truth sat quietly inside a hard drive. No interviews. No headlines. Just time, waiting to be checked. Then someone finally pressed play. Grainy footage filled the screen. A corner store camera. Date and time stamped in the corner. 9:41 p.m. Marcus walked into frame. Calm. Unhurried. A phone in his hand. He wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. The timestamp kept moving. 9:43 p.m. Miles away, the crime was reported. 2 places. 2 moments. The math didn't work. They rewound the footage. Played it again. Marcus was still there. Still visible. Still innocent. Every second told the same story. The camera didn't flinch. No edits. No opinions. Just proof. The room went silent. An accusation had collapsed under its own weight. The evidence they ignored at first now spoke louder than every witness combined. This footage didn't just show where Marcus was. It showed where he wasn't. And in those timestamps, his innocence became undeniable. The lawyer didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He sat across from Marcus. Files spread across the table. Eyes locked on the details others ignored. Every report was read. Every timestamp checked. The arrest didn't line up with the evidence. Witness statements contradicted each other. And the camera footage told a clearer story than any accusation ever could. The lawyer marked pages in red. Circled times. 9:41 p.m. The crime wasn't even reported yet. Strategy replaced chaos. Motions were filed. Requests submitted. Not for sympathy, but for the facts to be heard. Marcus listened quietly. For the first time since his arrest, hope entered the room. This case wasn't about emotion anymore. It was about truth versus assumption. And the lawyer was ready to put the system on record. The courtroom was silent. No sirens. No shouting. Just the weight of a decision hanging in the air. Marcus sat at the defense table. Hands folded. Eyes forward. The prosecution spoke with confidence. Witnesses were mentioned. Assumptions repeated. But then the defense stood. Calm. Prepared. The lawyer didn't argue feelings. He argued time. He pointed to the screen. 9:41 p.m. Marcus appeared on camera. Walking into a store. Visible, calm, present. The courtroom leaned forward. 9:43 p.m. The crime was reported. Across town. 2 minutes. 2 locations. Impossible. The lawyer pressed play again. The camera didn't change its story. The judge watched carefully. The jury took notes. One assumption at a time began to fall apart. Marcus felt it. The shift. Not hope. Truth. And in that room, truth finally had a voice. The gavel fell. Silence filled the courtroom. Then, relief. Marcus exhaled for the first time in what felt like forever. He wasn't guilty. The camera had spoken the truth. Justice wasn't immediate. But it had arrived. Outside the courthouse, people cheered quietly. Some cried. Some whispered prayers. Marcus's mother hugged him. His sister held back tears. He looked at the neighborhood faces he had seen before. now smiling, nodding, relieved. For a moment, time paused. The lesson was clear. Truth matters. Assumptions can destroy lives. Evidence should always be checked. Cameras don't lie. And one young man's life reminded everyone that justice is not a privilege, it's a right. Marcus walked down the courthouse steps. Sunlight on his face. Free. Alive. And more determined than ever to build the life he dreamed of. That night, the neighborhood lit candles not just for him, but for truth, fairness, and accountability. A single story had become a lesson for all. And Marcus knew, life continues, but the fight for justice never stops. Subscribe to Black Voices Raw. Follow us for more real stories of courage, exposure, and justice. Don't let lies stay hidden.